You're listening to We're Talking Drums, creating conversations with the world's top drummers in the most extreme genres. This episode is brought to you by Los Cabos Drumsticks, Canada's #1 choice for drumsticks. They provide the wood you need to make the beats you deserve. Los Cabos Drumsticks. Now with your host, Corey Hoffing.
Hello, I am back from tour. This is it. We had a lovely last run of the year with my good friends in Unleash the Archers and Paladin. If you don't know, I am the host, Corey Hoffing, and I play for the band Lutharo. We are releasing some new material, too. We've had 2 singles come out from Atomic Fire Records. Very excited. If you haven't checked them out, check the links below. We'll have all that there. Yeah, it's been a great response to everything. A great way to finish out the year with 4 amazing Canadian shows. And before that, we had a little East Coast run of the States with Paladin, which was amazing. Big thanks to everybody who came out and supported us through all of that. Like, it was absolutely amazing. The turnouts were incredible, and it was great shredding every night. So big thanks on that. Got a sponsor for the podcast, Los Cabos Drumsticks. You might have heard earlier before this, they are the best. They have been super supportive while I've been on tour this year. They're absolutely incredible. I played the White Hickory 2Bs. Highly recommend for anyone in the death metal or extreme metal type stuff to check out the Red Hickory. A lot of my good buddies play the Red Hickory 2Bs or Red Hickory Rocks, so check those guys out. And our guest this week is also a part of Los Cabos Drumstick family, Samantha Landa. We caught up while she was on tour with Electric Callboy. Yeah, that was an incredible tour. They played Danforth Music Hall in Toronto, which is where we chatted. It was a sold-out show. They absolutely killed it. They're supporting their new record, Slow Burn, which you can check out now on all streaming platforms. They got a couple music videos, which you should check out as well. Really sick looking music videos. So highly recommend checking those guys out. And hopefully you're checking this out on YouTube. We're doing all our episodes in video now in 4K. So we're moving up in the world. All right. We're doing our best, at least over here, And in order for us to move up even further, if you want to support us in this growth of the only drumming podcast to come out of Southern Ontario, I think, head over to our Patreon. We have a We're Talking Drums Patreon. It's only $2 a month. Right now for the first tier of things. You get all the episodes early. We're going to have some amazing new content coming out from myself as well as our guests. And we also have a Discord, which you can get the link once you sign up. So check that out. You know what? I'll just put the link to the Discord below. Hop in there. We're going to be having some great conversations, sharing drum content. It's all drum related. If you're a bass player, just don't worry. Pass on through. Shouldn't even be listening to this right now. But that's fine. I can't stop you from this side of things yet. So if you have any interest in any of that, supporting the podcast further, then head over to patreon.com/We're Talking Drums. There's no G on that. It's super cool and hip and stuff and things. And I'm definitely not losing this one. Okay, we're going to hop into this episode. I had a wonderful chat with Sam. This is the 3rd time that she has been on the pod, and it's the first time that we have had a guest on 3 times. So this is a big one. It's awesome. It's a short one, so we're just going to get right into it. Here's my conversation with Samantha Landa of Conquer Divide. Samantha Landa, welcome to the We're Talking Drums podcast once again.
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, this is the third time. This is the first time someone's been on 3 times.
And this is the first time we've done this in person.
That's true.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's always been online, yeah.
Every time it's just been over Skype or Zoom or whatever we did it on. And the last time was a Halloween episode.
Right.
Which was something special we've never done since. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. And it is getting around Halloween time again. So that must have been like 2 years ago.
I have zero sense of time anymore. Like post-pandemic, I'm like, I don't know, was it 2 years ago? Was it 5 years ago? People are having children and they're like full on like, you know, walking around now. So I'm like, I don't know how many years has passed.
Yeah, it's insane. I had to look it up because I was like, it definitely was not last year. Because last year was just a blur of shit. Like between tours and everything, getting back into the swing of things. Because like the year before that, like nothing was really going on.
Totally, yeah.
2021, 2020 were right off. So, we got this nice RV here.
Nice.
It's always fun doing.
Should we keep going?
Podcasts in back alleys behind venues.
I mean, honestly, I feel like that's the most legit way to do it. Like, we're looking at a bunch of buildings. We've got like some residential. We've got some commercial. We're in front of a shed.
Yeah, we got a upside down cross there.
Yeah,
in the background.
It's pretty metal.
Yeah, it's pretty perfect.
It's a little bit of Satan in your alley.
There's probably raccoons in there or something.
Honestly, I kind of hope there are.
Might have a special guest come in.
If there was a special guest raccoon right now, like I wouldn't even talk drums.
Right? Oh no, we just hang out with the raccoon.
Yeah.
We just interview the raccoon. That's it.
I think it would be a pretty. I feel like it's like the makings of like a really drunk adventure, but with no alcohol, you know what I mean? But like the drunk vibes of that kind of adventure where you're like, yeah, we just interviewed a raccoon for an hour and they're like, and how drunk were you? And you're like, we were dead sober.
Dead sober. It was a great time.
It was a great time. I remember that. It was great. Yeah, I can't believe that just happened. Yeah. Like we just interviewed a raccoon. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was sweet. All right, we're off to a good start here. So you guys are a couple weeks into this tour now with Electric Callboy.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's going so good. Like we, after we did the video with them in Germany, like as soon as we met them, we were like, these are like our kindred spirits. These are like our brothers. Like we all got along really well right away. And we knew if we were to tour together, it was going to be really fun. And that's exactly what it's been. Like it's good vibes all around. Everyone's great. The crew is awesome as well. Everyone's friendly, hardworking, organized. It's amazing. We've got Tank the Tech who's TMing. Everything is so organized. Solence as well is on this tour as direct support from Sweden. And those guys are awesome as well. So it's just been awesome vibes, so much fun every night. Packed shows, the whole tour is sold out, so we really can't ask for much more.
That's sick, especially venues like Danforth sold out. Like it's gonna be crazy tonight.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think the biggest venue we played was the Fillmore in Denver, and it was like 3,700 caps sold out. And what's really crazy is, especially as openers, you know, we don't expect like everyone's gonna get there early, especially because sometimes we're on at like 6. Mostly we've been on at 7, but sometimes we've been on at 6. And we're like, you know, most people are probably not going to come early for us. But it was absolutely packed every single night. It was just packed house even for us. And we've just had such an amazing response. So it's been incredible.
I had the same thing, a tour we did with Ailstorm and Gloryhammer in May, because it was like Gloryhammer's kind of well known around here. They can pack some of bigger venues. And then you have Ailstorm. And then you have like us, Lotharo, who's like, we're independent, like have one album out. Like nobody in the States really knows us, but everybody showed up so early. Like it was packed. Every night when we went on, we're like, what the fuck is happening? Again, 3-band bill, no locals. It was amazing.
I think, and as someone who has played in many local bands for many years, I love the opportunity as a local band to have that local opener spot. But from like a logistical perspective, it is so nice when you're on the touring package to only have, and it's not even like a 5-band tour or a 4-band touring package. It's a 3-band touring package. And it is just so nice. And you can all use your own gear. Yeah, it's great.
It's just so relaxing. And then like the headliner can take as long as they want. And then you still have plenty of time to set up and do sound. You get a full sound check.
Yep.
It's amazing.
That's definitely the plus. I mean, as a drummer, I love being able to just leave my stuff on stage. So unless you're the headliner, you know, if you're anywhere in the middle, you know, you don't usually get to leave your stuff on stage. So that's one plus with opening, I'd say. You know, if you can't headline, great to open sometimes because as the drummer, we can just leave our kit on stage and be ready to go.
And then you just walk up, start playing.
And I'm like, is this what it's like to be like a vocalist? Like you can just step on stage and start. Like what's that like? Like that's how it feels.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we opened the last tour and it was sick. Like we do our sound check and then everything stays as is. It's going to be exactly how it was during sound check.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Sick.
I'd
rather open than be like 3rd out of 5.
Yeah.
That's like the worst spot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'll take it. Like if it's like a really cool bill and it means more people are going to be there or whatever. Like 100%. I'm not going to be like no, but it's like the perks of opening that I feel like not everyone talks about.
Especially as a drummer. Yeah, because you can go up, set up your kit, and then you're like, okay, we have to hit play. Like we have 15-minute changeover. So, and then you start the set and you start playing, you're like, oh my God, this is a disaster.
Yep.
Like it looked fine until you start playing, and then you're like, oh, my China's way back behind me.
Yeah, there's always it's like something can look on and it feels off, and it's the most minute detail. And I feel like maybe non-drummers could get it if they're like, oh, well, like my strings, like this, the string response is slightly off. But with drummers, there's so many pieces that like one little thing is off, it can really mess up the whole thing.
That's why I love having a rack.
Yeah.
Because everything stays it's supposed to stay as is every day. Or at least when I set it up side stage, I can check to see if everything's good and level and perfect, and then move it in and hopefully everything stays.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. It's funny because I've gone back and forth as a rack aficionado and a rack hater. It's really weird. And I've done both and I've toured extensively with both. But today was one of those days where I was like, I wish I had a rack with me right now because there was just something that was off, and I need to restrike my drum rug because I've lost a bunch of the tape, and I really just need to sit down and restrike it. But so because I've lost some of the tape, I'm like trying to put my stands in the right place, and I'm like, something is off, like something isn't working, like why? I don't understand. And it was fine when I set it up on the floor, and then I move it to the stage, and suddenly it's not working, and I'm like, oh man, this really sucks. And so I don't know. It's just like little things like that where I'm like, man, I hate all these legs.
Right. And I didn't use a rack for our last tour because I just got a rental kit from Mapex. So they just like supply all stands and everything. I was like, I'm not going to bring my rack. I was sharing with Gloryhammer as well. So I was like, stuff needs to change. It's easy. And they did because he had more cymbals than me. So we had to add in stuff. We didn't mark the rug until like 5 shows in. Wow. Yeah, because like I just wanted to figure out everything, and then once Ben got comfortable, he's like, yeah, we need to mark this rug. This needs to be the same every day. I'm like, sure, dude, whatever you want. Yeah. So we just marked it, and it was so easy. Yeah. From then on out, like it was just everything was perfect, and I love that. And I usually hate sharing kits with other drummers. But that was so easy because we played almost the exact same setup. Oh, that's awesome. It was literally just cymbals slightly changed, and that was it, But
there's a song that I'm supposed to play with Electric Callboy tomorrow in Montreal, and I'm looking at pictures of David's kit, and I've seen him play his kit a million times now, and I'm like, he plays his toms super flat, super low, and I'm like, I'm going to absolutely hit the rims on these if I dare. So I knew I had to adapt the song. It's just like da-da-da-da, like that's just all rim shots. 100%. Actually, years ago, I had to share a kit with Allegiant, and it was the same deal, but instead of leaving out all the fills, I'd say I'm obviously more experienced now, but when we did that, I'm trying to play it exactly as I usually play it, and it's all just click, 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 click. You hear the snare, and then a click, 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 and then maybe one tom and a click, 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 as I'm hitting the rims the entire time, and it was obnoxiously bad, and it was terrible. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to simplify the part. I'm not going to hit any of the rack toms, and I'm just going to hit, kick, hi-hat, crashes, snare and floor tom. That's it. So hopefully that's fine. Yeah, I'm sure it will be. It's a pretty straightforward song. It's a straightforward song. Yeah. Yep. So you just got to go up and crush it. Yeah. That's all. Do you play to a click for that song? Yep. Yeah. Sick. I've just never hooked into their system before, so I have no idea what their settings are because David hits way harder than me. So I don't know if it's gonna throw them off because I have a bit of a lighter touch So we will see how that goes during sound check.
Yeah, the sound guy's gonna have to be on top of it.
100%.
So-
He's great. He's great.
Yeah, I'm sure the band will be fine on stage. You know, whatever they do their thing, but just the audience. Because I did the same thing years ago where Ailstorm's drummer couldn't do 3 shows. I think he like injured his arm like 2 shows into the tour.
Sucks.
And then we're in France, or no, we were in Poland. And I walk into the venue and it's like, oh yeah, like, do you know our stuff? Can you play? And I'm like, sure. Their drum tech played most of the set, and he hit really light. And then I got on, and he pretty much, the sound guy was like, I just turned your snare off.
Because it was
I just
so loud.
did like a reverb send, so it was like some verb coming through the PA, but like I didn't need to put your reverb, your snare through the, like he had to completely change the drum mix as soon as I got up there for those 2 songs.
Yeah.
So I was like,
was there a
sorry.
reason that they didn't have the tech do the whole thing, or was it kind of like, oh, we want to give Corey a shot?
just to give him like a little bit of a break, because it was a headlining set.
It's a long set.
It was like an hour, close to an hour and a half, I think. Mm-hmm. So I played the last 2 songs of the set, and then the last 2 songs of the encore.
Gotcha.
So I got to end the show like both times.
sick.
It was really nice. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
man.
cool.
Love
It's
that.
a lot of fun.
I love that. Man,
Yeah.
drummers rule.
Yeah, it's sick. So you guys are supporting a brand new album that came out on Friday, which I think when this comes out, it'll be a couple weeks into the release. How are you feeling about it? How has it been exciting? Have you guys even realized, because you've been on the road the whole time, so did it kind of just like come and go? Like, we're busy doing shit.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I have to say, if you can avoid releasing an album while you're on tour, definitely avoid it.
Yeah.
But it just was unavoidable just due to several circumstances. And, you know, we've been trying to prepare the best we can, but it was tough because there were so many days where we had like no reception, and the album was released on the day we were playing Blue Ridge, 0 reception.
Oh, God.
Pretty much, especially in the evening at Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
And we're like trying to post all this content. We're trying to contact the label saying, can you do this for us? Because like we can't post anything, we can't download anything.
Yeah.
Like we barely have any reception. And yeah, that was a crazy day. And we weren't actually allowed to sell our music at Blue Ridge. It turns out it was soft goods only, so we could only sell t-shirts.
shit.
And we didn't know that until we got there. So we're like, well, we can't sell our album on release day, and we have no reception. So it was we just had to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And but I mean, we're so excited. Like that aside, like just timing aside, we're so excited about it. It's the first album in 8 years. It's a lot of like finales, I'd say, within our camp. So, you know, there was the hiatus. Then the band was active again. Then the pandemic happened. Then, you know, then there was some. You know, then we were trying to find a label to release it, and then we had to, you know, we were working on a couple more tracks for it, and so to finally have it out is just like an awesome feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, it must feel really good, because the last full length was in like 2015.
Yeah, and it's the only one.
Yeah, it's just kind of been singles and this and that, and kind of like rebuilding the band ever since, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I know I've given the album a couple spins, and there's a couple tracks that are probably my favorite, if I can remember it. Over It is one of them. It has like a hard like pop punk vibe to it.
Catchy.
I love it. And I can't think of the other one.
What's the vibe?
I can't.
No,
it's has like a Gojira vibe.
Welcome to Paradise?
Yes.
Is it like in the one in 10? I think it's 10.
That's it.
The one in 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
It's
cool.
sick. Yeah.
We're playing that tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite drumming songs.
Yeah,
on
when
the
it
album.
kicks in, I'm like, holy shit! Like this like has that like Mario feel to the drums, like those like displaced snare hits, but you're keeping the groove solid. Like, yeah.
I love
got
that
really
song.
Stoked.
I love playing that song. And there's such a variety of vibes on the album, like very different. I don't know, exploring different kind of subgenres and things like that, but all of it has the same sort of underlying themes, I'd say. And it's still very us, but there's like heavier songs like Afterthought, where it's more on like the metalcore roots, and there's not a lot of singing. And then you get the poppier ones like Over It, Only Girl, you know, it's a very soft song in 6/8. Actually, I feel like Over It has such a kind of a Foo Fighters vibe. Yeah, we've got
I
like
can
radio
hear
rock
that.
to like metalcore. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. And you go from like super heavy, like those like Gojira style, like insanely heavy riffs into these like super soft verses that kind of like emotionally driven. And yeah, it's really sick. It has like tons of highs and lows, and yeah, great record.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. So what was like the writing process and everything like that? Like, is there like a main songwriter in the band that kind of takes care of everything?
Yeah, Kristen, the rhythm guitarist, is the main songwriter in the band. She does the majority of the songwriting. Izzy, the lead guitarist, lives close to Kristen, so those two will usually kind of collaborate. Kristen might come up with like the song framework. There's some co-writes on the album as well, where we've worked with other writers or producers. And then, so it's, a lot of it is a group effort, but it's tough because it's not like your traditional band where you all live in the same city and you jam a couple days a week and you kind of organically create a song.
Right.
So it really does start, I'd say, with Kristen and Izzy or whatever, and then everyone else has a chance to kind of contribute. So, for example, what was it? What song was it? Oh, it was Over It, actually, where the producer had put in some kind of placeholder drums and said, hey, Sam, what do you think about this? Would you change anything? And so it was really easy for me to just like record my drum ideas like on MIDI. So I just record them on my
you just have an E-kit.
my Roland kit.
Yeah.
And so I can just send over my ideas, and then, those
And then
can be
he
integrated.
kind of like integrates it into what's already there. So
Yeah.
because I know when you're writing guitars and everything, you want to make sure it has the feel that was intended. So it's like, okay, here's placeholder drums, right? And then that way you can like put your flair on it. Or if you have a different idea, then you can kind of have that out, and maybe it has a different feel, and that's what the song needs.
Totally.
But,
Yeah. I mean, usually we're always, I feel like most of us are on the same page when it comes to like the feel that the song should have. So if it's like, oh, we think that it should have like this kind of groove, I'm like, yeah, that's what I would have done. Like, that's 100%, makes sense. So I definitely feel like the group writes well together, and it's more of like a linear writing process more than like maybe everyone's writing together in the same room.
Right.
So it's more of a step by step. Hey, now we've done this part. What do you guys think? Everyone likes it. Okay, cool. Now you contribute your ideas and so on.
I feel like a lot more bands are going that route too, because it's the local scenes are kind of, I don't want to say dying out, but as far as musicians go, what you're looking for in a drummer or in a guitar player or vocalist. And when you find somebody, it doesn't matter if they live in your city or not. Like, the internet brings all of us together.
Yeah.
We can send files. Everybody can record in their own homes now. Like, just the home recording process is so easy. So doing demos and everything and sending files back and forth, and then you just get together for a rehearsal or two before tour, and away you go.
Exactly. And
Right?
that's exactly how we work. So it's usually we get together like a week or so before the tour.
Yeah.
We all meet up in Michigan. We all jam. This was an exception on this tour because I was getting married. So we had a
Right.
fill-in drummer for the first two shows. I flew out the night after my wedding like a psycho, and I still have my wedding nails.
Nice.
Just went straight to tour. It's the tour honeymoon.
Yeah. How's Greg feel about that?
I mean, I don't think he loves it. He's sad I'm gone. I'll see him tomorrow night in Montreal. But
That's right.
I think it's just he's very, very supportive, and I think it's one of those things where, I mean, it's really important to have a supportive partner, and I don't know, I wouldn't want to be with someone who doesn't support me living my dreams, and I feel very grateful to have that.
Yeah. And like, especially if you're gonna go the extra mile and get married, hopefully. He's a musician as well,
Yeah.
so like that's the thing. I'd like us touring musicians and stuff, so hard to date somebody who's not a musician and
100%.
doesn't understand it.
Yeah.
I was single for a while because of that.
Yeah.
So
It's hard.
It's not easy, like being away from your significant other, and then if they're not understanding, then it's like it makes tour hell, and tour can be hell already.
Right. And then you have someone angry
right?
at home who's messaging you,
God.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't deal with that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't expect anyone to. And especially when, you get to know someone and hey, this music's their life, and especially if they're touring already, and it's just, you take it or leave it. This is my lifestyle, and if you don't like it, then it's just it's not the right move.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you mentioned playing Blue Ridge Rock Fest.
Yes.
that I've been seeing a lot of posts from that. You guys got pretty lucky.
We did.
With being able to perform there.
We did get lucky. 2023 Blue Ridge.
Because I saw some footage of it later on in the evening, I think on like Friday or something like that, that it's just like torrential downpour. And I know Born of Osiris got to play as well. Were you on the Friday?
We were on the Friday.
On the Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
perfect.
one good day weather-wise. I mean, it was hot. Like, don't get me wrong. I was dying. My fan was blowing hot air at me. My sticks were slipping. It was not my finest performance, but I had a great time. We all had a great time. We had a solid audience as well. But we really got lucky because, like you said, the night before got pretty much rained out, and then the rest of the festival was canceled. Like the next day, I think the morning of, storms came back. So we had the one nice day without rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that was a killer lineup too for that festival. I was looking through all the bands. It's like, oh, they're not playing. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Man, so we all wanted to watch Electric Callboy, even though we watch them every night because we're like, we gotta support.
It's different
support
on
your
the
homies.
festival stage, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they were amazing. And then immediately after, a bunch of us ran to Sleep Token because we're like, we have to see Sleep Token.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just like, I don't know. It was just so busy. There were just. It was a good lineup, even just on our day, on the Friday.
Oh, yeah. Every day was killer.
It was.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of good drummers on that. I mean, at any festival, there's bound to be a bunch of good drummers, but there were so many good drummers there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I love festivals. I'll just like go over to random backstages and just see what drummers playing. Like, oh, okay, cool. It's a cool setup. All right. Like, get some ideas, I always like to change my setup slightly, because I used to play 3 rack toms, and now I'm like, oh, I'm going to do 2 and 2 floors. And now, I'm going to move my 14 to the left side and see how that works, so.
I'm all about creature comforts. When I have a setup that works, I am so scared to change it because I'm like, this finally feels right. This finally feels good. And then as soon as one thing's out of place, I'm like, no, because it's like I don't give myself the time to experiment with my setup as much as I'd like to. I really would like to. Like, I would love to have some different cymbal sounds. I'd love to have maybe another tom and blah, 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 secondary snare. But I'm nervous.
Yeah.
You know what? During the pandemic would have been a good time to be experimenting.
Probably would have.
It would have, yeah.
Great,
well, had they not closed my space for months.
Oh yeah.
But closer to the end when I could go to my space but I couldn't see people, like
exactly.
I could have been experimenting, but I was like, no, I think I'm just gonna work on what I got here, and so maybe one day I'll change it.
I was kind of the same way too, but the one thing that I want to implement, but I don't have the money for it because cymbals are expensive, is looking at Austin Archie's setup from Lorna Shore.
What's his setup like?
He's using 3 rack toms, 2 floors, like one on either side, but his crashes, he has 2 closer to the middle, I think up high, and then 2 on the sides that are a little lower. So he has like 2 almost stacked, like side by side, on top of each other out front. And then he's got his usual like Chinas on either side and ride, but it's just that like 4 crashes. I'm like, I like how that looks. I want more crashes. I just use 2 crashes, 2 Chinas, 2 hats, and a ride.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, but yeah.
Hey man, mine's even simpler. Like what do I have? Mine's so close to just the standard rock drum setup. Like my tour kit has 1 fewer tom than I use at home for practice, but it's just like the 5-piece kit. I've got 1 set of hi-hats. I got the 2 crashes. I got the ride. I have 2 splashes. I use 1 splash on tour, and a China, and that's it. So it's super simple. That's all we really need.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to carry more gear. I'm lazy.
I know.
Until I can afford a tech, I'm like,
So mine barely fit into my cymbal case, and I'm like, I'm not getting a second cymbal case. So this is it for now.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed. Like I only use 1 splash as well on tour. I'm like, no, can't have
neither.
2.
No.
Because it won't fit.
No.
I'll have to put it in a different bag. I'm like, not happening.
No.
I know some guys that tour with 2, but not happening.
No.
And all those cymbals are Sabian.
Of course.
Yes.
Exactly.
The best cymbals.
Best cymbal company out there.
Ever. Yeah. Amazing. What crashes are you using? Because I am using 19-inch AAX and I think an 18-inch AAX as well.
I use those. That's actually so. I use the 17 and the 19 at home. The AAX Explosions.
Yes, AAX Explosions.
So here
yeah.
I've got the. Actually, I bought it as a pack because I was like, oh, conveniently, this pack has all my favorite, AAX. It's like the. Well, I don't play in a religious band, but it's called the Praise and Worship Set from Sabian, and it's like, it's AAX Explosions, and it's a 16, it's an 18, 2 crashes, ride, and hi hats.
Okay.
Did it come with the splash? It might have come with the splash too. I can't remember.
Nice.
But
Yeah. I like what splash? I'm using a different splash though. I forget. I think it's the HX series.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it used, anyways. Yeah, I've never had the AAX splash though.
I have, I think it's an 8-inch Aero Splash, I think is what I'm using. So I've got I got a couple holy symbols. Speaking of religious symbol pack, I got some holy symbols. I've got my, I think it's an Aero Splash, and then I've got the Holy China. And it's funny because ever since I was like 15 or 16 and going to like Warped Tour and seeing all the like core bands with their Holy Chinas, and I finally got a Holy China and I love it.
19-inch?
Man, I don't even know.
Because I think they have.
I don't think it's a 19. I want to say it's a 17.
17? Okay.
I might be
curious.
wrong. We may have to add these add the right specs in the comments because I'm gonna have to take a look because sometimes I get confused with my gear at home and my gear. So like I've got a kit in Michigan that stays in Michigan. It's for the band,
right.
And then I've got a kit at home, and sometimes it just blurs in my mind. I'm like, which China? I know I have a Holy China on tour, but I can't remember if it's the smaller one because I think I have a 19-inch China. At home, but I think this might be the 17. I might be wrong.
Nice. I'm curious how's the difference because I've only had the 19s. Yeah. I always go for it. And even I got a exchange recently because I cracked one while I was on tour. So I went in to get a new one. They're like, okay, we got to sort this out because you've bought this so many times. We don't know like which one, like over the last decade, you've bought like 8 of these.
Wow.
So I'm like,
it's like, what's the problem here?
Yeah. Just give me a new one, please. I know, like I bought it like 8 months ago and it's broken. So they crack.
Yeah.
But they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're the best. Like unmatched. I've never had a China sound like that good. Ever.
I love them. I love how they feel too. Like it's just like butter. Like it's smooth.
Oh, it's the best.
It's quick, but it's not too quick. And that's why I wanted a slightly smaller. I know I wanted a slightly smaller China, so it's a little bit higher frequency. It's a little bit shorter, a little bit less reverb, or sustain, not reverb. Yeah. But yeah, those Chinas.
And your touring kit is a Mapex Saturn Evolution?
It is, correct.
In what
piano
is it?
black.
Piano black is what they call it. Piano black.
10, 12, 14, 20.
20-inch kicks?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
A little baby kick.
Ooh,
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I've only used the 22s. Yeah. I used the white one. Whatever. It's something white. I don't know what they call it though.
Like the finish?
The finish, yeah. I don't know.
I want to call it a flat white.
Flat
like the
white?
drink. I'm sure that's not what it is.
It's
but
definitely not.
No,
it.
It's not.
No. But I've used that twice in studio, and I love them. I want one of my own.
The Evolutions
because we
are
have the
sick.
same kit at home, the Saturn 5 or V.
Yeah.
With the black burl finish.
I love that one.
It's really nice. I love it, but playing on those Saturn Evolutions, I'm like, oh.
The suspension system's really cool.
Yeah, the toms are so easy to tune.
They are.
Like,
I really like them.
I love them so
I
much.
kind of wish I had this one at home. But so I've got the Evolution. I have the Evolution on tour, and that's awesome. And then I go home, and I'm very happy with the Saturn 5. But yeah, the Evolutions are. It's an evolution in innovation in Mapex products. I don't know where I'm going with this. Go Mapex, love you.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah.
Shout out Craig.
Hey.
Best artist rep ever.
Yep.
You're the man. Okay, we got to wrap this up because you have a show to play. So it's a little shorter episode this time. But you know what? People are busy. Got shit to do.
We got stuff to do.
You probably got to, I don't know if you eat food before you play?
I usually have something small, really small.
Yeah, just a snack.
Just enough to keep you going, and then I'll eat fully after, yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, I don't want to be
Yeah.
like weighed down.
No, like an
feeling
hour
like-
before, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna eat this like 800 calorie meal. Like, yeah.
It never turns out well. It
it's the
never does.
worst.
And then you got to like use the bathroom like immediately before, and you're like, I can't though. Like I have no time. I have to get ready. I have to warm up, and then you're like,
Yeah.
why did I eat that burger? Or
Yeah, you
whatever
just
it
feel
was.
sluggish the whole time.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's all for me. It's just caffeine, hydration. That's all I need.
Yep.
Yeah, get a little bit of blood pumping. I like to have a sweat going before I get
Me
on
too.
stage.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've started
It's
doing
really
that,
nice.
and there's been a couple of drummers who have shared that as part of their routine, and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm doing it, which is they like get the blood pumping. So like I'll try and like jump like in place or like do jumping
Just
jacks.
jumping jacks, push-ups, like
Yeah.
all that. Like, yeah, just get the blood going.
Yeah.
You know?
And I find it helps. So it's not like you're going in cold. Like even if you warm up your arms or your legs or you stretch or whatever, it doesn't give you like the cardio. So I feel
Yeah.
like you need to get the cardio, you need to get the heart going and start building a sweat, and then you're like, I'm ready to go.
Well, before you stretch, you should get your blood pumping anyways, or else you're just like pulling on like muscles
Tough
and
muscles.
ligaments that don't have blood pumping through them properly.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, fun tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, do a little workout, then stretch, then go on stage.
Yep. 100%.
Then you're good.
Yep.
All right. So you like right after this tour, you jump right onto another tour.
Yes.
And you guys are gone until the end of the month.
Yep. I
Yeah.
think I fly home on October 2nd. I think our last gig is like September 30th or something.
Yeah.
So after the Electric Callboy tour, we're out with Icon for Hire for 2 weeks, and we've got one Toronto date, and then we've got the rest are kind of like Northeast, Midwest U.S.
Okay. Sick.
Yeah.
So we'll put all the dates. Hopefully this will be out before then. But yeah, if you're in Toronto, Lee's Palace on
Yes.
September 22nd.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining me. I'm glad that we made some time, or you made some time to chat with me today. So thanks a lot. And
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll get you going so you can play a sick show tonight.
Wicked. Thanks.
Yeah.
Can we like cheers with these mics?
Awesome.
Is that
I think
weird?
so, yeah.
Okay. Cheers.
All right.
Sick. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the We're Talking Drums podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, then make sure to follow us on Instagram at We're Talking Drums and share with your friends. Also check out our Patreon for bonus content and early episodes.